Do this.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Very good. Thank you all for coming. We've got a couple of additions here, so we take some stuff off of here. We don't have the fire information for the assessment, but we can adopt that resolution. That. That's 5 minutes.
Where's that?
We don't need it.
They don't need to adopt and they don't need to public hearing.
So,
Kelly? Yes. Dan? Pat?
Yes.
Kathy?
yes. That first step. You say roll call. Is that to accept? This was, to accept? No. Oh. No, that was, I just wanted to point that out, that we'll be taking that off when we get to the agenda. So that's a roll call. The roll call is for everybody who is attendance roll call. But you're still in that, so no. I just want to point that out and point that up to the top. Motion to approve the minutes of June 25th. We have the minutes of no, presentation and budget.
Minutes available to the public.
I can make you a copy.
Yeah, no, this is the copy available on the back. There's not anything on the table.
No,
I would like a copy too, please.
actually, the date is June 21st is what you find out. Not June 25th.
We have what?
You're saying approval of the minutes from June 25th? Yes.
Yes, that's 2022.
2022.
Oh, 2022, I'm sorry.
Charlie, if you'd like to review these minutes, you may.
Why are we going a year back? Why are we going a year back, guys? Why are we going all the way back a year on those minutes?
This is the annual lady.
Oh,
It was to approval of the minutes, those 3 minutes. The annual budget and the taxation. 2022, June 25th, 2022, last year. I didn't get any approval. Did you approve the agenda? We're not that far yet. Oh, I thought that's where you were. No. I'll mix it. And then above that, we're almost there. Okay. Are there any discussions, any questions on the minutes? Okay, all in favor, aye. Opposed, nay. Very good. All right, approval of the agenda. So when you remove the fire protection resolution.
And to remove to resume the public hearing. Just above it to resume the public hearing.
Yes.
Two.
I also want to take off this amendment on hiring. There's a probationary period already in there. Yes. Okay.
I make a motion to approve the agenda with those three subtractions.
Anything else, Dan? All in favor, aye. Nay? Carried, all right. Motion to open up the budget hearing. And Young, if there's support. And Howard.
Should be what we last. These copies is the cemetery. On page 5. We had the 11,000, we didn't know about the raise thing on that, so I changed that to 13,400, and then I reduced the capital outlay by that much to 25,600. That's the only changes I made from last time. What? We got contracts. about taking a contract for the next 3 years. Which we would raise this good bid. We got a new contract.
We said no raise because we signed with.
It hasn't yet. It will be today.
Process long on his contract and initial it, and I watched the project on and initially. It's not going for 3 years and 11 months.
So that's new information.
We talked about a contract. We had to do a contract.
Yeah,
He did sign it, yes. But we haven't signed it yet. We're gonna do that today, right? It's on our list.
It's already in place. It's
It is on
3
here.
years and 11 months. Right, and I remember before he signed it, and then he initialed that. And I watched, and but what we discussed last meeting, was that because it was not, nothing was ever signed stating any other amount that the 11,000 was. That's why we need to.
That's why we had to do a contract.
But Kathy, at the last meeting, you stated you couldn't get it in the office till November of 2022.
When he signed it.
You sat there and you said he signed it with no raise. That's how come the board agreed he wasn't gonna get a raise because November 2022, it's good for 3 years.
It's all because we have a consensus with that based on the information. Now, if this is the information. Because our consensus was to sign the contract at 11,000, and we all just adjourned. And now we're hearing something different. So it's new information. Because we actually did say, okay, he signed it for 3 years. Right.
Right, but then we also said we have to get a new contract for him.
Well, who was we? Because it was.
We,
No,
No, you did not.
no, because it was a signed contract for the next 3 years. So we wouldn't have a reason to ask him to come back. We didn't have any reason to sign it again because he signed it for 3 years. That's where we were.
He signed it with the understanding that he was gonna raise this year because of the fact is that he was locked in.
So,
Crossed it off, and he initially-
we might as well put an ad in the paper for a sexton.
Go for it.
well, we don't want to do anything wrong. It's just that.
It's only the fair thing to do.
If you, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, when we first bring up an issue, if you put the actual signed contract in front of us, so we could see. Then if anything changes, then we could see the change. But on that contract, it had 11,000, and now you're saying it has 15. Right here, it's there's an updated version.
Between June 13th and today, you guys got with the sexton to give him a raise. Without word approval, without discussion.
But the guy that we did, we decided we adjourned and walked off. Now we come to saying that wasn't it.
In the meantime, somebody go with the contract.
Why did we adjourn? Why did we say, when we said walk away? Why did we do that? I don't understand.
We voted as a board and agreed to it, but when he signed it, he changed.
That the board had no discussion on, or no vote. He changed it.
I can buy that because that's exactly what we did. At the last meeting. And the new information is that he wants to change.
He changed it before he signed it.
That's not what Kathy reported.
You can't change that.
Did we settle, I mean, it was a workshop, did we settle on, okay, as of now, that's what the contract is, but did, I swear we said we have to get a new contract for the annual meeting.
I really felt that we settled it because we didn't have anything to say.
There was discussion that, that in the contract.
Right, that's what I'm
But
saying.
it was, but
don't want us to get mixed up on that. What I would, or not would. So there's something good. Opposite. I would be wrong. I don't want to teach the guy either, but I think it was one of those, well, that's too bad. We wouldn't mind him in the way, but he already signed. That's what it was. You already had signed. You would accept it.
For that year. They crossed out.
You have to have, we would have that, whatever we were voting on, we should have had that in front of us. If it was 13, it should have been.
Right, and what we have is a copy of the signature where you crossed that off.
Yeah.
And we had a copy of a contract dated 1999.
Right.
For a contract.
And without the board members having it in front of them to vote on that figure, someone has it and they can change it anyway. You don't have.
Okay, well, we have that discussion when it comes up down there, but I can change the budget back to 11,000. That's what you want to do. Put it back to 11,000 and I'll hold up the capital.
I'm just giving my perspective. I'm just one guy saying, I thought we decided one way, but the board decided another way.
I recall it just like that it kind of walked away from it. Unfortunate, but
You guys have to, you got to win from this.
Like township systems do that recording.
I'm not trying to do anything dirty. It's
I
just
understand.
misunderstanding.
I don't think it's dirty. I just think it's just understanding as you stated. If we're making a decision, we can't have misunderstanding. It has to be quite clear. How it's going to work. But now it doesn't seem clear. That's a problem. Because it changes the project a little bit.
No, because I took it away, it doesn't change the dollar, I just added it there, took it away there. So it doesn't change the dollar.
It's supposed to be a signed contract already. And have to be messed up on.
he didn't. sign it.
That in mind, we made a decision on that problem when we signed. He has a counter at 13. Yeah, I should negotiate so we come here. So is that 13 counter? That counter off, that counter. For our best.
I didn't realize that we actually voted on that at the workshop. But all the voting and approving was done today. Did we have a vote on that?
We didn't vote.
Is this guy a department head? Is this guy a department head?
No.
He's a contractor.
Oh, contractor.
But
Okay.
a lot of contractors doesn't come in and they happen at any given time.
Well, don't we bring him to a regular meeting and negotiate a contract with him at a regular meeting?
What we did last, and that's where he signed for 11, and then we were like, we were okay with that because that's what he's been getting. So there was no changes. So we were okay with that.
But evidently he felt that he needed that extra money because he had an increase in wages since what?
So should he come before the board in a public meeting and ask for more money, just like I gotta ask for more money here in a public meeting? Or Sam would have to, or the zoning administrator would have to come to a public meeting and ask for more money?
But he was told to negotiate, to put on there what he wanted to send that information in. I mean, he wasn't told he had to come to a meeting.
I'm not saying that he was. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, shouldn't this all be happening in an open public meeting?
Yeah, and it kind of did to a point when his contract was introduced to us. I mean, whether he had to be a person, I don't know, but his contract was introduced. And we said yes to the 11. That he couldn't make. I don't know.
So what do you want to do here?
Is that?
I'd like to get back to the budget hearing and then talk about that.
Well, can we table that? Because that's not, that can happen at any given time, right?
Yes.
Here.
Well, I guess what might need to be discussed now, because if we say, yeah, with 13 grand and decide. We only have 11,000.
I can put 11,000 in the Okay, the dollar amounts that aren't changing, I'm just swapping money from the wages, I took it out of wages and I put it in wages before, and I took it out of the capital equipment. Now I'm taking it out of wages and putting it into capital. So you want me to go through each department as to what the changes were and basic utilities and things like that? I think everybody understands. I don't want the public to know what's new. Okay. For the township board, we got a $23,000 GO payback for the tribunal. And for the street improvement fund, we've got 48th Street on here in Maryville, whatever, or whatever we want to decide. Changes supervisor elections, it's the wages have gone up because of wages for 9 days prior to the election. Okay, deputy clerk is raised to $17 and at 12 hours a week. Yes, 12 hours a week. And that's an average. So during elections, you might look 15. For other days, for other weeks, you might look 9. So it's an average of 12. He's at 16. Yeah, now. Let's see. The deputy treasurer is 17 and she's at an average of 9. She went up an hour, just, yeah. Well, it's an average of 9. No, because she'll be working like during tax season, she'll be working 12. But I was like, maybe in March and now, maybe 1-2 times a week. That's out to 9 hours. Now I have the salaries for building and ground, I have Sam in there yet. The 12K is, that's a whole other thing to discuss, right? Is when he's gonna go to the
Yeah,
full time.
I drafted a resolution based on, water.
Okay, and then this is with Mario going to $14 an hour and Jesse's going to 18. Right now, no, not the week. Right now, but it's, that's under janitor wages. It's under janitor wages. So Mario was 13, he'll be 14, Jesse was 17, he'll be 18. That's the same, he's just per hour hasn't changed until we decide on the salary and all that. Okay, janitor wages going up from 13 to 14, and that's 15 hours a month.
Who's our janitor?
Me.
Okay,
Okay, on the repairs and maintenance, we have the flats on the roof for 6,000, the fascia and soffit for 7,000, the fire and electric for 12,000, and concrete for 10. At the moment, we have media for 2,000, box 6,000, driveway 15,000, and with those, some of them, it goes for 4,000. And just the stuff for sanitary, which is, there's also an added $5,000 at this point for the cemetery fix. Vicky and her crew was doing. Nothing really changed for the planning commission. Parks and rec, we still for the capital outlay, picnic tables, the fountain lines, and the voltage toilet, and then we have the grant money that should be done. That expense should be this year, right?
About the zoning. What about the zoning?
It's at 30 hours a week at 20.
When was his vote, when was his raise voted in? He just got one.
We just already had the 20. We're doing it today.
So he's had 3 raises in 11 months.
He's got one raise after he got his certificate, after his probation, and he got a certification. That's
2 raises.
that's one raise. And now he's, because he started out at 18 and now he's at 20. He will be at 20 once we approve.
That's, why are they, I don't understand. Why are the increase so high in the whole budget from 19 to 31?
Because he was under the impression that he was only working 21 hours a week, but we hired him for 30 hours a week. It's always been 30 hours a week. That we might be 30 hours a week.
Why do you have 30/week/18?
That needs to be a 20, because that was their own.
So that changes the numbers.
No, this 31/2 is with 20 hours.
where are you guys at?
Planning commission.
When in the workshop was the zoning administrator approved the raise? We had 2 workshops.
Nothing is approved until today.
Oh, so this is a request for a raise.
Well, we're giving everybody a raise and we're approving them.
Right.
I would hope.
But this is the first time we're talking about it.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it is, because we talked about the raise before, but it was shut down.
Because of the 19th, but I know, but he also got his certification. Don't say that's nothing. That's
No,
huge.
I'm saying that doesn't take up the conversation as a factor for the raise.
No, but that certainly is why he deserves a raise.
That's no dispute, what we're saying, we really need to talk about this, because we did give any new information to what it says for a reason.
You said he got a raise when he got a certification.
I didn't say he no, he should get a raise because he got it.
He said,
No, you said the
You know what I meant, 32,000. This number has been in here as $20 all along. 20 times 30.
who's pushing for this raise? Artie, who's pushing for the raise? Who's pushing for the raise? You?
I am.
I'm not pushing for any raises. I'm just like, I'm neutral, just like the others.
Let him stay where he's at for 1 year till the next time we meet.
Isn't that what's written in the policies?
Have you seen him on M37 and US 10, all the things he hasn't done yet?
I've seen a lot of stuff that he has done.
Let's talk about what he hasn't done yet, but he's been in office for 11 months. Guthrie and 44.
Is this public comment?
There's not a.
Okay, this 31/2 has been in the budget ever since he started talking, and that is based at $20. I'm sorry, I had a typo there, it was 18, but the 31,000 has been there the whole time.
I appreciate that. Ray and I spoke about. Appreciate it because all the raises and all that can be talked about before we get to a meeting like this. Hear about. Like, these raises are somebody's opinion, which, you know, disregarding by our court, go on saying. It doesn't make sense to be blindsided by the rate at the meeting with what you vote on. We at least should have some discussion amongst us instead of people who chose the rate. That's the only thing that we talked
It's
about.
been standard that we give them a raise every year.
No, the policy doesn't have a standard, that's part of the problem. Policy of annual meeting is possible. But we talked about it a few weeks ago, and we've seen that it was already raised after that 6 months.
I have a copy of page 3, the only thing we have are employee probationary period. That for employees is 6 months. At that time, there will be a monetary review. Anniversary date, first day you report to your office, official anniversary date, position describing the manual. You know,
This is nothing that they can't have one at the end.
Right. As a matter of fact, the other policy, actually, the other policy kind of contradicts that.
well, the other policy you're talking about, the handbook.
Right, it's the employee handbook that tells them what they're doing.
We need our policy updated. We should have more than just one paragraph this size. That's an employee.
And you know, you're right, because if we did, it will answer a lot of what we're talking about now.
It should be clear in our policy.
Because the policy says annual meeting, you can review for complaints. We circumvented that in the last few years and telling people at the time they were hired, we'll review you in 6 months. Kind of circumvented that. But that's not in the policy.
Unless this is what, unless that's, it's sort of sentence that said that this time there'll be a monetary review. Maybe that's the.
It says review, not raise. You guys agreed to give them a raise after 6 months.
So you did. You did. So now that goes.
No, that was back in November, so that was 7 months.
So there's a raise every 6 months.
Now, he's already been through his probationary period. So now we don't get another raise till next year.
Well, his probation, well, on there, the probationary period is only to say it's going to keep him now, it's not normally got to pass it.
Right.
It's not about the individual, it's about the policy. It's the same for everybody.
Exactly, I agree, but you can't treat everybody the same. I mean, a manager is different than an administrator.
Yeah, but as we spoke, you don't have that.
We don't have that identified in our employee policy either.
It just says employee, it doesn't break it out on who gets more.
We need to review that and update it. So it's clear.
If, you know, there's no argument if the person gets a raise a few months ago and here from now, if that was in writing, there would be an argument. But it's not, it's somebody's opinion on it. So that's part of the problem, it's not in writing. We're just doing it based on what someone wants to be done.
That's why I have a resolution. In this group, resolution to create a personnel committee.
Can I make a suggestion? Does all of you guys' employees get an annual review? I know I got one this year.
Yeah.
At that point, couldn't you guys decide whether to get a raise or not? and then come back out into a public meeting if it was a private or into a closed meeting, and then make your decision at that point, that at the annual budget, this is what's gonna happen.
That's the way it's
That's
set up.
supposed to, that's the way it's supposed to work.
That's the way
They
it's
just
set
don't like
up in
following
our
the rules.
policy making now.
Okay,
Right, so when you start doing extra stuff, kind of convolutes things.
Yes,
But actually, in defense, because when they were doing the employee review.
hold on, one at a time.
When they were doing the employee reviews, I specifically stated that, you don't get the raise for another 6 months, why do the review until you're gonna actually.
well, then put the review closer to the state.
Right. I'm just saying, during
Right.
that time, they did talk
Don't
about
blow
this.
the budget.
Okay, I'll put it, we can keep them at night, can he have his same rate though now?
We put in the 19th is something we had to look at. That was stated at the time of this hire. 6 months. So I got him back in just a minute and see that got to get there. So he got the 19th after 6 months. But when do we go back? I know we got off track and we were doing it correctly. When we go back to that, it says you get a raise every year. Set up certain policy and make it on this additional chaos. We get a raise year and year. Every year, annual meeting, raise with the policy. That's simple, really.
I understand, but again, this is so brief. Yeah, it's
That
like,
actually comes from the MT thing. That's actually.
it's one paragraph, and that's it.
So you can't have two different policies floating around.
The office
But the handbook has got more information on employee policy than this does.
Right, because the handbook covers the 90-day probation period. It's just as a review to see if you're gonna keep them, and if you want to stay. That's what that's for.
What we need to do is bring that handbook and put it into the employee policy, so it's policy, so they match. So we're on the same page, so that we're not saying, oh, well, we got a person out there that's expecting a certain amount of money, and then our policy says, well, gee, it doesn't say that here, but it does say in the handbook.
It's difficult for us to do it here, that's what I suggest.
Needs to be uniform.
We've got a committee to have to come at some time to make sure we come out.
I'll put him at 19.
But you guys do know that at the closed session, nobody denied the fact that the annual review should have gone up to 20. So you know, gave him that impression at the closed session, at the 6 month review, that you all were giving him 20.
Well, we can't talk about the closed session in here. Whatever happened in there, we can't talk about that.
You can't give an employee the question that they're giving a raise and then turn around saying that.
You're talking about a closed session that nobody knows nothing about.
Do you have?
Everybody-
Wow.
No, Jackie, nobody's supposed to know anything about the closed session.
Do not.
No, Chris told you about it and he was wrong.
Well, I'm speaking as everyone else speaks for all the percent. I don't think it's fair that you are, if the board, if the group has decided in a closed session that you should give her a $20 raise, then no, I don't
And
think.
again, I repeat again, there is no decision made.
Well, I
in closed
understand about
session.
your vote, but decision.
Oh,
Just saying that you might be lucky that you might quit on, right?
There was a consent.
Let's let Chris.
It was a consensus that he was gonna get a raise at the budget meeting, yes.
So we do have closed session minutes.
Yes, we do, but again, that's confidential.
Well, I'm not saying Sharon, but it's for us.
We cannot open them.
Yes, we can.
We can.
The board can.
The attorney or a police officer can open those. We cannot say our seal. Well, and also if someone wasn't in the closed session, they can't attest to what was said in the closed session. So it's all
Hearsay.
hearsay. Regardless.
But does anyone recall getting the impression that we were $20?
We can discuss it either way. You can't discuss it. Closed session, we can't even talk about it.
Not in closed
Say
session.
it's closed session. Here, police officer doing.
Not at the closed
I'm
session.
not in that closed session.
Not at the
Even
closed.
after the closed session.
Even after, so is there any feeling even outside of closed session?
I should have eaten lunch before I came. Darn. Got snacks.
Question? You have a question for Damien?
Is any of this in writing or in the minutes?
Nope,
Yes.
it's a closed session.
It is.
Good.
It could be in the closed session meetings, minutes, and no, you cannot.
No, not.
Okay, right now, with the budget, I'm gonna put them at 29,640, that's $19 per hour. And I have to put $1,540 somewhere else.
1,560.
Yes,
1360.
So salaries are obtained in closed sessions.
They can be discussed, but they can't be voted on until they come back out to a public hearing. You can discuss anything you want in a closed session, but the decision has to be made in an open session meeting so the public can be there.
Okay, so we have, right now, at this point on the budget, we have an extra $1,560 on the general fund. That will be. Okay, so our out. Okay, so the expenditure budget is 966, 360. And our total income is 967, 920.
Total income was what, Pat?
What?
How much was the total income?
It's on the last page of the general, 967, 920.
That's closed.
Nine 67, 920, under the approved column on the very last page. We're in the process of approving the budget.
Okay, now here's the question. Licenses, permits for business. Budgeted 85,000, this is 15,400. It says approved 3,000. Let's over that.
Okay.
R1,
I got it. Last year's budget was 85,000 because we had all the licenses in there that we received from the marijuana. We distributed 70,000 of that to the fire department for the truck. So that, the actual, I don't know where that 400 is coming from, but it's in there. So this year, we're proposing $30,000 are coming in, or $15,000 are coming in for licenses, plus the 15 that was left over. So the budget is 30,000.
why is it only 15,000?
We have only 3 licenses that are renewed every year at this point.
So the licenses are more than 1 year.
No, they get paid, it's $5,000 for each license
Right.
every year.
Every year.
So there's 15,000 left over in that line item. So we have 15,000 plus the 15,000 left is 30,000.
So there's 5 licenses available.
There's licenses available, but nobody has them or paying on them.
Okay.
So Okay, and when they do, if you get it, okay, that money goes up, or that income goes up.
What did you get the $3,000?
I don't, what, 3,000?
23, 24,
It says 30,000, there's just not a comma there. I don't know what 3,000 you're looking at. Okay. That's general.
in general, where is quick, okay, now, first,
Under township board office.
or, around that 6,000.
That's for paper, you know.
Well, get a quick person to. I have a quick book, run through my mouth, so, 6,000. Got it, money to build just $3,000.
That was always the
And we
installation.
should get the new.
Okay, so we might have $3,000 coming out of this, we want to come out per month.
That's why that's office supplies, that's why I use the budget on that. 11,000 because we got that.
Yeah.
But now we're back to normal.
So the over budget, because of quick, so that was curved. This is take into account all the to the charges.
I do believe program. Yeah. Just get on the program, it's 3,000.
It's $50 a month, that's $600.
Oh, that was a program that we told them we wanted, they gave us the wrong program.
Okay.
And at the time we got it all straightened out, it was in several months.
Action off of that.
Fire.
Yeah. You know, we-
Or that
the only thing on the main is, I don't know if this week, the word is like, you got one little thing that you must have. There's something like, for instance, raisins. You don't really check the weight on. Please point them out, because I don't want to wait now. To see them. I feel like I'm calling a stick. It's just like, we need to be on the competition. You know,
So really, the only person that was, we had confusion about was Chris. We already agreed on every other race.
but that's the thing, I didn't know. I didn't, like, within minutes. I missed it.
We talked about them all.
That's what I don't remember, so. In a minute, I'll look at it, to show. That we talked about it. That's the minutes.
Yeah.
So, but maybe if we create the person up in there, we do all this stuff there, that brings everybody into the. Yeah, it's all about, yeah.
Any questions? Yeah, go ahead.
I have a quick question. The question would be, $2,000 proposed. $1,000 proposed, and how.
They're hoping that they're hoping that will can get completed this year. Amendments all over, the new written, all rules and what. We don't know the process, that's why we put that in.
It's there in case.
It was close to that the last time. so.
I just wanna ask about if you were gonna give me a dollar raise. I prefer you don't give me a dollar raise. And I prefer that you add on one of my days that I work, like an extra hour or two, so that I can actually get
things that need to be accomplished. So I prefer not to actually do the dollar raise and would rather have an hour to on a certain day longer to work. Just want to put my I just prefer not to have that because like
So, well, are you going to honor that? With your, I guess, because if we're keeping the documents. Oh, yeah. I think it's more on that. What I'm saying, is you got that now, wait. Yeah, you don't want.
Did you want it as deputy clerk or as janitor?
deputy clerk. I just believe that there's
You want 13 hours a week then.
something like 13 or 14 hours a week. So that way on one of the days that I work, I can actually work longer so that we can actually like accomplish phone calls. Because sometimes during we have people who come in, they can't come in at 9 to 12. And people have been making complaints. I mean, I had someone coming in for the cemetery, you know, I have to plan that out when somebody's coming in to buy that, because we're only open from 9 to noon, 3 days a week. So it becomes inconvenient for the public.
Is that right? So 14 hours times 16. 24 times 52. 14 hours. Or 14 hours times 16 dollars. That's what she said, 14 hours times $16 is $224. So that's more money actually. $648.
We'll just move it to 13 hours then.
Would you say that was 208 for 13 hours? That's 10,816. Right here, same amount, the number really doesn't have to change. So we can go now if that's the way we go. Motion or whatever.
There's no motion. You're just over.
No, we're leaving her at 16.
That's right.
But we're adding an extra hour every time.
Right.
So instead of 12 hours, it's 13 hours.
And that doesn't take much for her to do it.
But during elections, she's gonna be working 17, 18 hours.
Well, I'm just responding to this. Motion. We put it just in more time.
You want to do the approve the general fund first, or you want to do it all, or you want to do it all?
I have a question. Did Jesse get a raise on his system through you?
You just get a raise.
It appears 18. It appears coming up. 17.
Was the 17 as the system through you? When you started off with, I'm just curious what.
He did in his 6 months. Sometime. He didn't get a reason. He didn't get a reason. Right. But he passed that review. So now he's up to his annual, like every other employee, his annual.
Because what we did last year, we gave them this raise every 6 months, and we gave them an annual. Last year.
We were just
That's not the question. The question is why can't Chris? We did it for Jesse, why can't we?
She didn't ask that question. She was asking about Justin.
But that's why.
But Justin got the 6 month grace and he had to wait.
No, he did not.
He did not.
He did not.
I remember.
Yeah, he did.
He did not.
There was never, yeah,
Neither did Mike.
you have to look at the- However, where you're going off the rail, you gotta get back to.
I know, but people are working very hard.
What's the annual rate for? Like, what do you give an annual rate?
He's asking.
11%. How do you come up with 11%? How do you justify 11%?
Cost of living only goes up 3% on an average.
How do you justify 11%? Administrator or looking at janitor? Well, I think you're talking about the administrator, right? The administrator, I would say, based on their education, the guy came in and all certified here.
If the gentleman got himself certified, okay, I would think that was, after his evaluation, I think that was,
Federal reward, right? So let me give you 5 cases, at least 5 cases, as to why I think you shouldn't do that. Number one, the new body shop is done. Nothing's been done. Number two, custom marketplace. You're making deals under the table. Number three, Ron Smith place. He's running a transfer station out there. He got 3 containers sitting there right now, full of crap. Number four, what's number 4?
Was 10.
Oh. The house out on just Foreman Road on the west. I think that's something, nothing's ever been done. Complaints from on and on and on. Then there's another fellow. Never that well. So there's 5 examples right there that should have been something done, nothing been done. So you're rewarding someone for not doing their job, and I don't think that's right. I mean, I'm not saying you gotta put people in jail, you gotta contact them and say, you people need to clean up your place. And as far as the body shop and the other people, why is Mr. Michael still there with all that stuff? You'll never get it. Why is Ron Smith doing the meeting? Because they're letting Mr. Michael. I don't blame him, I do it too. But that's what I'm seeing. And I think other people are seeing. You're giving money away to people, but they're not producing, and they're not doing what the job is for. I'm not saying he's lazy, I think he's a good kid, I think he's doing a good job. But you gotta give them the money because you just want to do it well. And I understand it's always nice to do some of the increase, but they need to earn.
Actually, he said the same thing I said.
Pardon?
He actually said the same thing that I said when we were talking about, people getting $1 raise. He said, I'd rather not get a raise and have extra hours to be able to put into doing work. But that's how I feel. I feel like the township, it's not about I think what I get paid an hour is fair. He said the same thing. He said that he'd rather not even have a raise and have more hours to do his job.
It's not
But
public
remember,
comment time.
we keep adding things for him for zoning, and it seems like even in the clerk's office, you have all these things going on and you have 3 hours a day, 3 days a week. I think the workload has gotten, I don't know since everybody else has been here, but I can tell you since I've started, I've been doing a lot more in my job than when I first started here. So it's not really as much about hourly raises. I think that it comes down to the amount of time you have to put into your job, because I care about how I do my job. So I prefer to have quality over money.
I'm not blaming you. Blaming the board.
But I understand, but
And it's not
but if
public
he
time.
was told, if he was told one thing, then it's unfair
Well,
that
why
that
did
something else will be done, and it's gonna be the same thing with Bill, because he's gonna be upset and I guarantee he quits.
Is that my fault?
I'm not saying it's your fault, no, I'm not saying it
It's your
anyways,
fault,
but
yes.
what I'm saying is everybody, Bill said he hasn't had a raise in how many years has it been?
He's never come and sat before this board and asked for it. When I worked for Township, I wanted an increase. I sat in front of everybody and I asked. Did I get what I wanted? Not exactly, but I had something. Had I not gone there, they wouldn't have came to me and said, hey, it's time to give you a raise. I was like, they come and ask for it. And there's nothing wrong. If he thinks he deserves a raise, which I'm sure he does, he can come here and tell you that. I mean, I don't think you'd have a problem. I don't think anybody in the audience would.
Well, he did, I mean, he did by when he sent in that paper, when he sent in his amounts, he emailed that.
But you didn't do it at a board meeting. You gotta do that separate.
But he wasn't told he needed to come to a board meeting.
Again.
So are you saying, are you saying it's just Pat, Ernie, and Kathy, but Dan or Kelly has no responsibility?
I think it's a board. They work together. They all-
Supposed to anyway.
I'm just saying, I'm telling you, and no, he ain't gonna be happy, because I've been doing the cemetery stuff, and I've been in contact with him. And he does a lot more at the cemetery than what he even gets paid for. And now all of a sudden, I mean, I get you gotta have procedures, but I don't understand why you wouldn't. He's asking for what, $2,000 a year more, and he actually does more work than what his original contract even said.
Look, can't we have a budget amendment after, maybe he comes in and does a board meeting and have a budget amendment after this? And he still gets the raise?
Well, that's not a raise, that we, which person is talking?
The cemetery guy.
That's a contract, so that we have to we don't have a policy on how we renegotiate contracts. But we have to decide
That's all we got.
how are you going to
We have
cancel
that.
an agreement and make a new one.
Yeah.
That's something that, I don't disagree with a lot of stuff I've heard, and a lot of problems that we're discussing branches from the leadership. We just don't have good policies around all. One or the other. Then the employees they're kind of in the, they're in the, because they don't like what we say. So we get for or inaccurate, need the information. Not really on the.
But Kathy said on June 13th, at a workshop meeting, she said, she finally got Bill in here to sign the contract in November 2022, and he didn't want a raise, he never asked for it. But you guys hand him out like it's candy, like it's, you guys aren't doing business. You're kissing butt to everyone, that's what you're doing. Give them a raise and they'll do the dirty stuff we want them to do.
And I'm moving along with, if I'm following along, I'll reject and stuff. We were in error by creating a separate way of giving raises, separate from what the policy says. We have given a lot incorrect, and today we're talking about not correcting it, talking about correcting it. That has bad optics up here. You're gonna, if you find that you can do something wrong, you gotta correct it. At this point, it looks as though we favored individuals up to the point where Chris, it is the same as everyone else. But at what time do you make that correction? Do we continue on knowingly, going against the policies?
Well, again, if we adopt the resolution creating a personnel committee that can address these issues and bring our policies up to date where they need to be, so that it's not one paragraph, and put some meat in there that gives us some guidelines to both actually follow. We're not gonna be all over the board. But that's another discussion to bring up. We need to get through the budget.
Now, I just wanted to know if you do that committee, how many civilians and how many board members would be part of it?
For me, we need two board members.
There would be 2 board meetings?
Otherwise,
Okay, and then, so the rest, how many members would be on that committee? The rest of the people would be who?
For the public, I would say probably just five.
So a grand total of 7 people.
Just five.
Oh, total of 5. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, let's move on. Fire department, no?
They have a budget of $183,987 with expenses and income. The new is for miscellaneous revenues, we wanted 10,000 from savings to buy some stuff for the new truck. And then we give them 30,000 for marijuana money. Oh, they're looking at a grant for 30,000 with a P-PAC in the village. So that's extra income.
And Weber too.
Well, and the- and then the expenses, are the basic. On the contracted services. Plus Geo up there. Because that's down in refunds, so that's gotta be a different account number, I'm not sure of that account number yet, but that's what they have to pay back to Geo for the tribunal. And then they wanted 50,000 for jaws, 10,000 for hoses, 5,000 for nozzles. That's 3,000 and plumb to do something for 6,000. The turnout gear for 17 and the radios for 17 are looking to come out of that $30,000 grant. So that's pretty much the changes on there. I told Chief that he's gotta be tight this year. We used up his fund balance by making that extra payment to the building. And I mean, he still has some, but just to be very careful with what they're spending. We have 3 payments left, so a year and a half of building to pay, so after that, we'll have 5,000 extra to use for other projects. Not this year. Questions on the- No, that postage was there because that's when we sent the letters out for the trucks and then that got paid. So they're not gonna do that again.
No, we're not. We're not gonna do that again.
Main request. Got enough throughout the year things for you. You got enough. Kind of went through things.
Yeah, a little bit. We should be okay. Like I explained to Pat today, like the jaws, the 50,000, I don't have to buy $50,000 worth of jaws. I might be able to just buy the cutters, the spreaders, and that might be $25,000 to $30,000. So that'll give me a little wiggle room. And then the next budget, I can continue to purchase what we need with that. So we'll be okay. We have a little wiggle room in there with that. And there's another $5,000 for grant money for the radios for the DNR that is not shown in there too. So, but I think we'll be okay. See how things go through the year. So, and this year we're not asking for any raises for any personnel or anything like that either. So, you know, it's going to be tight. So everybody's going to forego that and continue putting out fires.
Respect for your patients, you guys.
Fire department, the budget is 199,500. And I'll go with it. Manage to balance it by making Sam at 20, having him do 25 hours for water at 40,005, but when Geo opens, gotta have mention something more on the record in minutes that when Geo opens, $60,000 is his due.
And there's the,
So that's up to the men at that time. when we budget that. We, in order to balance the budget, we wanted 30,000, well, number 3. We took out the sewer meter. So he's got a balanced budget.
You say you have to put something in there for when you go.
Resolution, that we have to, set this, salary. at the meeting. Resolution stating that we will allow this rate increase for salary or for separation, whatever we decide to do, to be done in the event that, there is financial, money's available to do.
So if you raise it, you make it $60, what if you have closer to the amount? You can make $60.
Pay off.
Why isn't that in the resolution? Why isn't that in the resolution? But I can tell you it's not the resolution.
Jill's not gonna close a month.
Yeah.
We can't guarantee that. No.
Especially that.
To this point, I agree with you. Sometimes can't get locked in until that those monies don't come in. Because we're assuming you're going to pay out to support that. Assuming. So then if they were to close soon after, they're locked in without an exit.
We'll go right back to the board, whatever.
Agreement with
40,000.
saying.
Yeah, you have no agreements. The first one will be, 60,000, but you can assure you, that's the last thing you have.
Resolution for that, 25 hours at 1,005.
Do you put a dollar figure in the resolution? Because what if you don't, or in that much? 'Cause it's not-
Right.
There is no dollar. If you have a resolution, there's no dollar.
So you're not using that 60.
No, right, yeah.
Why would he get laid off? If we go back to the situation as it is now, why would he be laid off? He's working now. Why would he have to be laid off if they go?
Because the financing is not coming in and you set the salary at the new rate. We will not
But
be
he would be back to the old rate.
Well,
That's the cost.
Yeah, he's changing jobs.
Changing jobs, yeah.
Yeah, so he won't have anything to go back to.
We can't go down.
Right. He'll be up to nothing to go back to.
You'd have to have a contract with them that states that.
Right, but if you do a
To
contract,
the
that
to
changes.
the other job.
Yeah,
Go
you
back
can't,
to the other
you
job.
can't take
Your
a.
job, it's not a job anymore, it's not a position anymore, what's the position? It's changing the dynamic.
Why did you have a contract?
Well, that was the next question. Try to still decide that.
Oh, well, maybe I misspoke myself, because I think we must be, we gotta figure out either or, we can't get both. Maybe an employee, or maybe.
It's not contract. He doesn't want to do that.
Why do you have a contract?
Don't have a contract with him. We're just sitting on
Guaranteeing $60,000.
salary. Jill's, yeah,
That's a contract.
So do you have something in writing from Vito that you're gonna open?
but I have a contract that my salary is.
No, we're talking about Sam.
How can you base that on the fact that you're open? Why would you even do that?
Why would you even consider doing this resolution? We don't know if Gio's gonna open or not. It's always a hypothetical with that.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the budget. We did not budget for them being open.
Okay.
But is that something that has to, that resolution has to happen right away? Can we just move on?
It has to happen when they do. I haven't read it.
We may have to add it.
Last board meeting I was at, Pat had said something about Sam's paycheck in August would reflect his new income. Does that mean that Geo's gonna open in July?
Everybody's new wages will be reflected in the August paycheck, August 1st paycheck. That be the July, it starts
Correct.
tomorrow. But we're not gonna pay them the 6 week salary.
Oh, just the opposite. Okay.
Yeah, what did he make for water sewer, just for water sewer in the last year? What was the budget?
I think it ended up being like 35,000.
Okay, 35,000. For just water sewer, how many hours a week? It was 30, I remember at workshop.
It was probably, yeah, I think that was most of it. I think I had him at 10, yeah, 10 because he was only 10 that week.
So if he's at 35 for water and sewer, you're gonna double his wage when Geo opens? You guys never.
Wow.
And at the very first meeting, he asked for 48.
Yes, he did.
We have that in the minutes.
Yeah.
But as of now, he's at his normal rate for 25 hours a week. And he's doing maintenance. Jobs have not changed. Okay, so
That's huge.
that 154,000 is the budget. I know this for the gas is going down, so we're down to like $11,000, $12,000 bill for so that's gonna be helpful. And then the last page is just the fire assessment that hasn't happened yet, and then the G drive assessment.
Down to, we did not put in the phone because of that gas. So that's gonna come to continue. Budget is only raising increase.
We're not raising anything, no, not this year.
Then the next part, we also, then that we can solicit for, advertising something now.
This is based on the fence to contract. So if it goes up,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
well, it depends on how much it goes up. I think we can get to this year, but then we definitely have to raise it next year if it goes up.
What's the bottom line on fire assessment as far as going on people's taxes?
It's still gonna be around $13, but we won't have that until next annual meeting because we don't start pulling this until it's done. And then we use those numbers. It'll be, I think it'll be running on that for general.
Don't read anything, much as I've seen anything about the
annual budget. Yeah, big trash pickup.
Right here.
Comes
Does large item,
You have paid.
large item not in bags, yeah. refuse, it's refuse.
The large item bag,
It's large item and the bags. He charges us when he brings us the blue bags, he charges us for the case.
okay, so this has not been broken apart between regular weekly pickup, large item bag versus the Weber Township pickup day, the big large item pickup day.
The waste disposal is the everyday,
Okay, so this wasn't broken out.
yes, and then the large items is 10,000.
Broken out as base dumpsters, or we don't, I don't see, I haven't seen anything that says what we paid Smith versus what we paid Benchmark last year.
That was next month's meeting. It's 8,000 something.
So at least we have a couple of years of baseline, go forward with.
1 year, 1 year.
Oh, we got 2 years now, we have Benchmark last year, and we have Smith this year. Right. How do we make out relative to? What is saving?
It's a big thing.
The big savings using Smith? Yeah. Okay. Were we satisfied with the results?
I believe so. We're always going to get people that complain, but we at least we follow up and we take care of it. And then we do. Okay, so.
You did.
Oh, you did make a motion? Oh,
Review the changes. Want to review the changes?
I was, just one, are you guys, without Chris here, you can't really validate the fee, rather have more hours, opposed to.
He was under the impression that he was only supposed to work 21 hours a week. I told him, no, we had budgeted for 30. He goes, oh, that's great. So I think he's okay with the 19. Not that it's gonna matter.
I don't think he's gonna be okay with the 19.
Well, he's getting extra 10 hours a week, so.
He's already put in that 10 hours a week.
What's the average amount? What's the average hours?
And so being like 140
Right now, yeah, it's busy right now because he's doing all campers, but in the winter it's not. The average is 30, might be 38 or so now, but he'll do 24 in the winter. It's an average. It's kind of,
Yes.
On our time sheets, especially with employees, we need them to write down the hours they're here, please. I don't like it that they spent 4 hours here. Okay, what hours? I want to know what hours were actually spent doing company business. Besides, I believe that's federal law when I looked up the Fair Wage and Labor Act.
He has the total hours, but he doesn't say, I'm here at 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock.
Thank you.
He only says, I'm here 4 hours. That's what it says on this time sheet.
Mhm.
You approve it. It should be
everybody's
clock
done
in,
it that
clock
way
out.
all since I've been here.
Yeah,
And then now all of a sudden it's a problem. Can we
No,
listen
it's
to
always
you?
clock in and clock out.
I'll make the motion to accept the budget with the changes that we have discussed. All four.
Any discussions? That's the changes that we agreed on. Okay. Hearing none, roll call please.
Kelly. Dan. Pat.
Yes.
Kathy.
Yes. Hey, we'll carry it. Public hearing. Okay. All in
Twice.
And motion to open.
Now we got a motion.
It's definitely approved then, right?
Kelly, yes. Dan? Pat?
Yes.
Kathy, yes. Ernie?
All right, now we're back to, switch to that station. All right. We got for 23, 24, allocated operating millage rate, point 0.9580. Voted operating mills, 2.8745.
490.
We're not, what did I say? Oh, nine, thank you. Maximum allowable millage was 3.8329. Fire department millage was 1.9874. Taxable value for 2023 currently is 82,592,875. But our budget is going to be based on a taxable value of $78,437,523. Now, the reason for that is because Geo has not come online, and we know there's going to be a reduction. So we based our budget on the lower amount, knowing this. Any questions?
We lost 11 million of taxable value with Geo, but we only really lost $1 million in actual numbers.
Because the valuation went up.
We weren't hurt.
Other comments?
Make a motion to close it.
Natalie? Kelly? Any discussion? Please.
Kelly, yes. Dan? Pat?
Yes.
Kathy, yes. Ernie?
Yes. Carries. What? You got a question? Next, we're going to open up this fiscal year meeting.
Kelly, yes. Dan? Pat? Yes. Kathy, yes. Ernie?
Okay. Let's talk the date here. Approval of the meeting dates and fiscal year date, meeting date. Last Saturday, we're going to keep the second Thursday at 6:00. I was at the calendar, there is no holiday on that.
Yeah, that sounds fine. to me. If we did the same June 29 as the last Saturday.
Need a motion to the second Thursday at 6:00 for our regular meeting dates in June 29th.
Well, 9 o'clock. I mean,
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we approve our regular board meeting date, second Thursday annual meeting on June 29th, 2024 at 9 a.m.
Who supported that?
Roll call, please.
Kelly, yes. Dan?
Yes.
Casper? Pat?
Yes.
Kathy, yes. Ernie?
Yes. Next is a resolution on P Drive, we should have that resolution up there first. What's happened is we have to review our special assessments once a year. And whereas I leave this, and this is the resolution number 3-0603. G Drive Maintenance Special Assessment District number 2-1. Trustees has placed a special assessment on the property along G Drive in the subdivision known as Putnam Park, creating a special assessment district number 2022-1 in accordance with Code Act 139 of 1972 as amended for private road maintenance and improvements October 22nd, October 13th of 2022. And whereas the board was presented with cost estimate of $4,465 for the road for the year of 2022. And whereas the board for the special assessment administration cycle we conducted a special assessment. Therefore, let it be resolved that the board set a special assessment based on their current the cost of $34,064.74 or $133 per 26 cents for each parcel annually over the term of the special assessment district known as special assessment district 20. So that decrease the
Make the motion.
okay. Work. Kelly? Roll call.
Kelly, yes. Dan? Pat?
Yes.
Kathy, yes. Ernie?
The resolutions I have. Start off with the sewer and water rates. We are increasing the sewer rates from $2.29 per thousand to $3.42 per thousand. Sewer rates from $7.72 of that thousand gallons to $11.52 per thousand gallons. So whereas the rates for 2023, 2024 will be set at water, $3.48 per thousand gallons. The rate served will remain at $12.95. Sewer rate will be $11.52 per thousand gallons, and the rate of serve will remain the same as $39.75. Rate of serve for a 6-inch heater will be $795. Billing cycle will remain monthly for all. Therefore, let it be resolved that every township adopts the new rate for 2023, 2024, 2025.
I'll make the motion for that.
They went up 14%, I think the original number. Something,
Yes.
and it went to 342, that was like 2 times. That one went up 14%. It's still, the new numbers are
Dan? Pat? Yes. Kathy, yes. Bernie?
Yes. Carrie, thank you. Next, I have a resolution for property guidelines. Income, resolution number 423-24-06A. Whereas the zoning board has required by public act 390 of 94 guidelines to set income levels for property exemptions higher but not lower than federal guidelines. The township has adopted the current federal guidelines of November 13, 2018 by resolution number 2018-11-08, defining income levels. Whereas the board approves to allow a 1% increase to the federal poverty guidelines to qualify for poverty exemption. And whereas the township board also allows for the use of current major medical expenses paid after insurance benefits as a reduction to the total household income. Therefore, let you resolve that the township board shall follow this state policy and federal guidelines for granting or denying the exemption for allowing a 1% increase to federal guidelines and accept major medical expenses and as a means of determining poverty income, unless the board review determines that there are substantial and compelling reasons why there should be a deviation from this policy and the federal guidelines, and they are communicated to the claimant in writing.
Motion to accept those.
That one is the board. Discussion is that we've had people that were $100 over the guidelines and some were $50 over the guidelines. And we qualify. And we have two cases where the medical expenses should have been allowed. And they weren't because they didn't have it listed in a resolution. And, the poverty exemption is only good for 1 year anyway. And that people are pretty used to this past year. Roll call, please.
Kelly? Yes. Dan?
Yes.
Pat? Yes. Kathy, yes. Bernie?
Yes. Carries. Next one. I have a resolution to create a road committee, if you want to do this. So I have here is resolution number 2023-06-24B. Whereas Everett Township Board has had many discussions on how to determine road improvement projects or project priorities. And whereas the Everett Township Board approves a road committee of 5 to 7 members from the citizens and residents of Everett Township to serve as an advisory committee to aid the township in choosing which road should be improved. And whereas the committee will be known as Everett Township Road Improvement Committee. And whereas the committee will include not limited to research and development of plan on how to choose roads, the type of improvements, which roads are priority, and advising the township board of choices. Therefore, let it resolve, the board hereby adopts this resolution, create a new committee known as River Township Road Improvement Committee, as a volunteer group of citizens and residents to advise the township board in choosing roads for upgrade, for improvements and upgrades. Is this a resolution you want to adopt?
Still vote.
It will be.
Well, you didn't mention that, this is all. So,
Well, it will be.
well, it doesn't say. You can't. It doesn't say.
Okay, so you want to,
A new committee,
You got volunteer for the citizens and residents.
right,
oh, decide.
Like,
Yeah.
just
Why can't we
change
just
it to
vote
the
to change that?
cross residents off and put one.
Okay.
I think there's some rush to finish it. There's also a typo.
This is not a hurry, no.
But it's just, we were talking like, well, three of us is set down.
Yes, I meant to put that in. there.
Oh, okay.
I know that.
Like a typo.
Okay.
Something to the typo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We wanna.
So does it change? Well, if someone wants to make a
So it would read the Weber Township ordinance created a road committee of 5 to 7 members from the citizens and board members of Weber Township to serve as advisory committee. Township choosing. I'll make the motion to approve it with that change.
well, a committee would only be two. Otherwise it'd be a forum and it would be a committee.
I think you can have forms, you just have. On the post. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. But
You
it's just,
want it all board members, yeah. I mean, you want each of them to do, right? Yeah. So, yeah, one or two board members.
just like even in this, for your bylaw, you got stuff. How many is what?
Okay. Two representatives board members.
3 to 5.
Board members and three citizens.
John,
You have five.
How many citizens?
You have 5 to 7. Is it gonna be 5 or is it gonna be 7? So how many citizens? 3 to 5.
How many do you think is there?
I think 5 is plenty.
Okay, and five.
5 citizens or 5 total?
5 total.
That's correct.
Okay.
There's some of those who do typo because like, whatever, therefore it's gonna be resolved. The second member, the second line.
The last. There we go.
So, and then I'll read the correction.
Yeah. You're gonna make a board member? You're not, you said volunteer for the citizens, does that include volunteer for the board members? Are you willing to accept that one more meeting? What we're looking at.
I'll read here. I believe I think I got it now. 3 members for the citizens and 2 members from the board. Well, hey, no, it's a committee. Could be volunteer.
I understand, volunteer committee of citizens.
Yeah.
I don't see it there where it says volunteer committee of board members. Clear yourself, just put more of that out of your mouth, yes. No, we're just not.
Create a volunteer group.
Perfect.
3 citizens.
Yeah. This is one thing part of that.
Okay, I will modify my motion. Whereas the Weber Township Board approves creating a volunteer road committee,
Yeah, a volunteer group of, yeah,
a volunteer road committee. Group of 5 members from citizens,
3.
or 3 citizens and 2 board members of Weber Township to serve as an advisory committee to David Township issues.
No, it's 4. Question? Cover it?
think the other thing like that. An amendment to our cemetery ordinance. What I got here. We had an issue with bulbs and markers. What I put in here is, going to be text amendment to the ordinance. Adopt various amendments to the ordinance regarding more clarity regarding grade will be proposed. Right, and effective date. Section 17, bulbs. 17A will only state all burial shall be within a standard concrete vault, which means all have to be walls. Installed and constructed in each cemetery plot or terminal. So that is excluding all the types of vaults. Section 7, markers. Subsection C, markers and headstones. Add that no private person or family member shall place any monuments or headstones within the cemetery and must contact the sexton for proper placement. So how this amendment be adopted?
So section 1 is coming.
Oh, yeah, we talked.
So you guys talking about a small signage?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The marker, the section marker is very marker.
No, I'm saying a sign. for people to-
Yes, that's exactly what I post the rules.
Right.
This is, they're just dropping the foundation for the headstones and there's no foundation.
Correct.
They were responsible for the foundation, but they're responsible. There's no base there, or foundation, I should say. There's no foundation there, stone right, we're like,
But in which some of the agreement, I'm just saying, where we have a sign cover.
we should-
Yes, we're gonna have rules out there. Yes, no.
You said concrete vault.
Yes.
My personal experience with they have plastic vaults for people that
Cremated.
they usually this is talk to very county township, very county to specify their credit is less for me. Everything has to be concrete. Problem needs to.
Not for cremating, because when the concrete vaults pertain to body burial, that's why it's subsection C.
Do you have anything that I thought?
Yes, we do, but it's not about a vault, because the vaults are only full length for the full body. And
They don't require a vault for the permit. They have a cemetery.
They have to bury a container.
In my experience, it's placed in a small vault.
Really? Not the one we did. We used a bolt hole digger and that was it. Dug 4 holes.
Things change as the gray hair grows.
Right here you go.
Things change.
Yeah.
Rules change.
In a large cemetery in Chicago, as long as the ashes are in a container, it doesn't need a wall.
Right.
Now, this is in the city of Chicago. Why would you need it here? Why would you need a concrete wall here? You
This was in Red Rapids.
In our training, they said there was no law on training fire.
I'm just saying that's what's my experience. I saw them all go down there. I saw the box of pre-made in the wall. That's the Red Rapids. It sounds like that's.
The two concerns that we have, that we don't have in our ordinance now. that we will follow, sections of 40 hours, take care of the headstones.
I'll make a motion to make those amendments.
Yeah. Questions? Roll call, please.
Kelly, yes. Pat?
Yes.
Yes. Effective 30 days after publication. No. Fee schedule. All right, we have to adopt those policies of first, now we're going to adopt the fee schedule. We don't have a copy of the fee schedule.
Asking if you went through all the resolutions because there's still one more. That's the water operator salary. That's on hold.
Will we put that on hold?
We'll discuss it at another meeting.
Yeah.
That's what we agreed on.
Yes, that was discussed. Okay, so the fee schedule is next. There was a question on the vendor permits. For 4 days and seasonal, but state it didn't change. I don't know if there was some minutes that were missing, so we changed it. Evidently, the ordinance mentioned 25 and $100, I think. 25 instead of 10 and $100 versus $50. Ordinance says. Find any change from that to $10 to $50. I'm looking at the vendor permits and vendor. Seasonal.
I think we just did it at the. But there was no minute saying.
I believe they couldn't find any minutes. I left it alone because they were still researching that. But the biggest change that was the sewer charge and the water charge. On this. Was there anything that you think that might need to be changed before we go?
So like the other big ones, if there's no change, it's kind of big.
Yeah. I don't know if you need to, anything with the land use permits or permits. So I don't know, we need water tap fee or sewer tap fee, that's fine.
Well, we don't, anything else, kind of talking about. You change.
Yeah.
The thing that we talked about was the water and sewer that we would have that.
Accept the fee schedule so there are some changes.
Questions? Roll call, please.
Kelly, yes. Dan? Pat?
Yes.
Yes. Only other question I had is I separated the maintenance and water operator position. We want to keep that.
That's part of this. We have
Okay, yeah. So
Right, let's do this all at once.
when we talk, then we'll be able to split up for the future. Okay. Unless you have the mic.
No, the only thing I have is, like I said, I wanted to make sure that, whatever we need to do ahead of time is done. Probably make a resolution later on. It's already separated, I've got, obviously it's separated already, it's done.
Yeah, because that, yeah, we don't have to do that in the meeting. Right, I mean, we separate water, sewer, or to make. So that can be. So we all, but we all get breakdown.
Yes. Okay. That off to the side then. Okay, hiring policy, like I said, I have the second contract on here.
We're gonna, talk about a lot of personnel stuff.
Yeah, I don't have a resolution for that, I want to make sure we had discussion on that, I'm going to draft a resolution later.
I think we need to leave that.
So, we want to move forward with our resolution then.
Policy, and we have a personnel administration. A resolution.
Well, we're going to amend the policy on hiring. And yet, probationary period is already in there. What we need to do is combine the two. So, we'll move forward with resolution creating a committee.
That's the one you got there.
Yeah, that's-
No, that's the resolution. There's a resolution for water operators, but someone else that I don't have a account here. I'll do that.
We're not doing it right now. Write up those resolutions for the first step.
Yes, create no, this is a duplication because this is already in the policy.
Oh,
So it was a duplication.
so, at the previous details, and then bring it back. What do we do with personnel committee? Everything, do the personnel wages, hours, would you, that's the way of our contracts.
I think anything to do with.
Right, policies.
Job
Yeah.
descriptions, say,
Hiring.
putting more than this policy in one paragraph. I mean, it's like 3, 4, 5, 6 sentences.
And I was thinking, well, they have access to the changes in the handbook before it ends.
Yes.
I would think so.
It goes, we go together.
It'd be my intent to have them put the handbook and policy at once, so that the policy matches the handbook.
Right.
And the handbook matches the policy, so there's no question.
Right, and then in our policy, our township policy, there's part of the personnel relations. Reference changes for those policies. That way we can make them match up.
That's exactly what we need to
I
have.
mean, if we have a policy, do we need to have the handbook? good idea to just give them.
Well, because they got more in there than they need. You pull out just the stuff for his employment. That's all he needs, is a few things pertaining to his employment. He doesn't need all the extra stuff, but it's just that they don't match.
Is that it? That's all I had, public comments.
Are you going to, only you said you're at our next meeting, or going to bring a personal.
Yes, I'll have a resolution done at the July meeting. Okay. Okay, public comments. Yes, Tony.
Where are garage sales allowed?
Where, what?
Garage sales, car sales, right?
Where? At your house. Pardon? At your house, anywhere you want.
Maybe what district? What zone district?
I would assume in residential.
How can people have them in commercial?
In where?
Commercial, limited commercial.
I don't think they can.
Yeah. People on for- That's what we know. Travel. Put in for mileage, how come you're not seeing?
We have residents. We have residents.
This is commercial, this is limited
Zone.
property.
You can have a house. Pardon? Another house. What's the problem? The ordinance says are permitted in residential districts. So. There's a house in a commercial zone, it's out of residential. Commercial. District where it's. Commercial.
Passing that mixed use. I'm wondering if that would make a difference. I don't know.
Well, it's not mixed use. This-
That's a big comment, but, it's not conforming. Carry all the rights of this state. So, exists as a residence previous to the passage of the zoning, he would have the rights of. I agree with the concept, I don't think you have it. That's the one we have, I think the law, the property state, we only have protection of time.
So the setup is on the commercial property. That he lives in. That is not, that was never approved to be listed. He's living in a store. I know you're gonna forget to tell him. Yes, that's okay. Pardon?
Three things set up between the house and the other building.
Close to the store, but he lives in the store. I'm just asking.
Accountability for all of it. We have a standard plan sheet. Or is it just on a piece of paper?
Employees.
Of course. What's that? I don't have any, well, say now.
Talk about maintenance. Yes, we have accountability. They are working right now what they do.
Do we have a standard sheet? That all employees are on the same sheet. That's fine. Standard. Time. Sheet. that each employee does, so it's on the-
We
in your time sheet.
Why not? That would be a good question in our committee, personnel committee, for address. We would like to.
There is on the top. He gives me an odometer sheet that he's created a chart, so he writes down his mileage and then, you know, if would be any mileage, and I want to go somewhere else.
Is that just one employee that does that? Or is it all?
Just one, because he's the only one that.
Sam travels, Nicholson travels.
Yes, the job.
Yeah, the Township Township truck.
So I thought it was gonna have a truck.
Well,
That's
that was,
That'll be in
in our last meeting, it was gonna have a truck.
that's with the new contract, if we split the two parts.
How about an account for all the miles that are put on that truck?
That's okay, go ahead, you can.
What about the county mileage that's going on that truck? The people that build out now the Dairy Queen. Probably some kind of accountability on that.
Well, are they going down to lunch?
I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to know, wouldn't you? Are you?
Well, I have to see what's done on there now.
I mean, if you're going somewhere to hide, yeah. If you're going somewhere to hide,
I mean, that's just short.
sure, I'd like to know
They're-
that.
They go to the village a lot.
If I was a meeting person, I sure feel like I'm gonna sit in the sun all day or sit in the shade all day, nothing. I mean, I'm not saying we're gonna sit out for now. But I understand where you're coming from, guys. When it's driving you, gotta know where it's going, they gotta go there and that. Yes, sir.
Just real quick, how come the minutes from last year's annual meeting wasn't available today?
Because I didn't yesterday, I couldn't get in here, and I was going, and I didn't, I will make copies for everybody at home.
They're supposed to be typed up 8 days after the meeting, so
They are, and I typed them up the Monday following our last annual meeting. So they were done, I just didn't get in here to get the copies.
Just a question about who's responsible for landscaping. You know, I was walking in today, the scouts want to spend on shrubs and bushes on. It was dead, the tags are still on, they look like crap. To get somebody not, you have to water those, wasn't it somebody's job? Is it a volunteer position and they let you down, or? You look at the paper, you stuff, it looks like crap.
we spent
This is like, welcome to our township building. Was that, was that this year, last year,
Last year.
and they're all dead?
No, they're not.
No, they're
No,
not.
no,
Really,
no.
really rough.
They all
There's
are.
one that I think looks good.
Oh,
They're all had problems.
That side.
They're all, they look personal. I just wondered who was responsible for water. And I think it was probably just they needed to do water. But it looked like, it looks like, you know, I just wish that, you know, people would pay attention. I'm sure. The other thing I'd like to say is that, you know, in all my years of working in government and I never got a 12% raise or 11% raise, you get a 3% raise, and then the next year maybe 3% or maybe a COLA, and then the next year 3, but just arbitrarily giving all, because it's easy to give $1 an hour. Another $1 an hour. I mean, it's, those are big raises and you get a raise of 57%, and then you get a little more, but just arbitrarily to make it easier for you to Those are big raises. And they don't really happen.
6%.
Well,
For the deputies, it was 6%.
that was a lot.
That is,
It's more than the cost of living.
I'm thinking about fish service. I know it's not easy to talk about, but we appreciate your.
We appreciate 6